I always say this, it never gets old. It really doesn't. But everybody, welcome back to SVK Network. Today is Friday. I can't believe the week went so fast. We have a great season this year, and this is one of my favorite shows that we do here because it is an area that I know very little of over the past years because I grew up with the POS system as it was probably integrated first into our restaurants that I ran. It was all new, all the old DOS systems and things like that. So this is one of my favorite shows. But out of that, I want to just do a few shout outs on the shows that we have coming up this year. Is that we have 299 shows. I think we have 290 to go more. We're the only live daily show out there, Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And then on Fridays, we do an Influencer Friday show, which is a product review show for restaurants. We did our first one today with Chef Poyant. We're also live show. This isn't pre-recorded. This is the real thing, and you're going to get the real information. We believe in authentic, real content. No editing at all here. Also, you can watch and binge watch, like our guest host here today, Chris, does on his weekends. Is watch all the shows on YouTube, Facebook, Meta, if you want to call it Meta, but on Spotify. We're on Spotify video, so you can listen to us as a podcast, or you can watch us as a podcast on Spotify and enjoy the amazing content that we have. We have about 300 shows already on our network, and we have 3 more coming this year. So big thing to do is make sure you subscribe and follow, because then you get a little notification when we are live, which is every day. But we definitely want to make sure that you're capturing this or watching at your leisure, your time. You don't need to go anywhere. You can sit in your kitchen, sit in your home, watch on your big TV. You can watch on your phone, watch on your tablet. Doesn't matter. You can watch it anywhere. But anyways, I want to start today and talk a little bit about the Restaurant Tech Show. So, Chris, welcome back, season 3, buddy. And
yeah, man, smile. We did it. We got back. We're people wanted us to come back, and as you've been working really hard, as you just said, we're available on more channels now than ever before, and I'm really excited to dive into this season. Yeah.
So, who's on the show today, and what are we talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a really great guest coming up today, and actually dealing with people in the industry that we would we wouldn't want to neglect, because they're actually the people that can help you implement all this technology that we talk about. And so today we're talking with Star POS. They're an expert in hospitality and retail, and they are what's known as an integrator. And an integrator is someone that can essentially take all the different solutions that are out there, and depending on what the restaurant owners are looking for, they can actually build that for them and help them demystify all the different solutions out there. And so joining us today, we have Victor Tavamo, who heads up customer success for Star, who would actually be the best person to talk to you about this. Yeah, Victor, tell us a little bit about yourself. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. So Victor, 30 seconds though.
So, we're a national service provider, point of sale solutions. It's quick service, table service, and all the like. And we're really there to demystify things. We're really in the future with technology, and we have every solution out there, and it's really there to help these organizations navigate what solution they really need, and the full picture and how that will work with their full tech stack. It's no longer just let's just get these transactions working, but we're moving beyond the 4 walls of the restaurant and every other service that can plug in with your point of sale.
Wow, that's heavy, Chris.
Yeah, it's well, hey, look, these guys do the heavy lifting, and I think that's the important part that we want owners to know is they do the heavy lifting, they do the research, they understand their customers, and they work for their customers to help build the best solution. And they don't just have, say, one solution for every restaurant. They generally have several. So it's all about building the right fit for the restaurant owners.
Awesome. Well, let's break for a quick commercial, and then Victor, I'm going to ask you 1,000 questions. 1,000 questions. We're going to get through 1,000 questions today.
Love it.
Because I got because Chris knows I like to talk, but I love this area because I know nothing. Well, I know a little bit about it, but nothing really too much about it. So we'll be right back after this quick commercial.
Hey guys, I'm Rena from OO.
I'm Kayla from OO. This fall and winter, I'll be co-hosting Food in a Boot on the Cisco Virtual Kitchen Network.
Digital maps these days may tell you information and reviews on a restaurant,
but they don't tell you about the people that hang out there.
OO is on a mission to help people connect better in real life by seeing communities of interest on a map.
Join us this fall when we take to the streets. We can't wait to hang out.
Right.
Man, Oot and a Boot. Is that a Canadian company?
Yes, the brand new startup company. They're doing a show with us this fall and winter, and I tell you, everyone needs to look up Oot.
Oot.
Unbelievable company that's really going to, I think, also be a disruptor in the industry and really change things up. So check them out. Very cool company. Chris will be Googling it later. Or
Googling
now.
it later. It's not
I figure out how
Googling
to
it now.
spell it.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
So
So maybe to kick things off before we get into more of the nitty gritty details, like let's see kind of what you saw out there as far, what we saw this summer, Victor, some of the new technology that's popping up that you think maybe restaurants should be taking a look at now, or that you saw that restaurants were doing very well. So let me know, what did you see?
Well, this was really that first summer back from the shutdowns that we've all been facing. So everyone's just trying to get as much volume into the door as possible while still being mindful of everything, all the adjustments that they've had to make. Continued increase in online ordering and third-party ordering and delivery. And then a lot of, different concepts in the market too. A bit of that return to live music, even arcades, and a lot of mini golf even, right? So, there's a lot of different solutions that would be encompassed within there. But I think with online ordering, it really touches so much, and it can impact also because as an operator knows, these third-party delivery, it's great to run, but it comes at a cost. So the online ordering is probably the biggest win that we can get for our customers quickly, but there's a whole lot more, right?
Victor, can I jump in? Chris, sorry. I have questions. Doing my homework, buddy. So recently, this week, that the government is allowing people to, restaurants and different establishments, to charge the consumer for the transaction cost on the visas and stuff. Is that also going to apply for online ordering as well?
As far as I think they can now pass along, it's like 2.4% along to the customer. So is that, I don't know. I think.
So that's something where a lot of people have been trying to find ways to pass on these costs to the customer. And so it is true, you're going to be seeing that. And I mean, that comes with the tipping too, right? We're all facing tip creep already. So with this new legislation, it really remains to be seen, right?
Can you explain tip creep?
Tip creep, yeah. So, I mean, I live in Vancouver. So all of a sudden now, no matter what, tipping, that number is increasing. If you remember the recommended tip, it was 10%, 12%, 15%. Now it's starting at 18%, right?
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, and it's for products that are above and beyond. Like, it's not just restaurants anymore. You go to the liquor store, you go to the cannabis store, and they're requesting tipping as well.
Seriously? Right? So, is it legal, like, when people tip automatic, like, is it already put into the price, or is that discretionary per location? Or they say, like, you're automatically going to have to tip this much?
See, that's not a tip, right? That would just be a transactional fee.
Service cost. Yeah.
Is that what they add? Really? Wow, that's weird.
Restaurants have found ways to include, like, there's COVID fees, service fees. That's actually added onto the receipt, so it's kind of like you can see it outright. But I think with the tipping, I've definitely seen it, creep into industries that you don't expect it. And I think it's something that I think it also might be related to the staffing challenges where, people coming into work minimum wage, and maybe it's not a restaurant or a food service establishment that generally encourages tipping. But I believe restaurants and different, even fast casual quick service, they're including that as a way to incentivize employees to come in and to do, to perform, even at a higher standard, because there's that extra motivation. And that can be motivated by, a great atmosphere, a great service that they can deliver. So I think it's important that, restaurants can, look at this legislation, they can kind of address it with their staff and essentially say, look, we can pass on some of these costs, but also if we include tipping as an option where it may not have traditionally been there, it's up to the restaurants and the staff to encourage people to tip and to go above and beyond, which I think is great, which can be great for the industry.
For sure. It goes up to, like, in the retail side, it's about an extra $5 per hour for your employees. And that goes a really long way in retention for staffing.
Well,
And we
absolutely.
know staffing's probably top of mind for a lot of our clients, right?
It's probably the one or two. I have a question for you on the whole online ordering thing. So, what's the future of online ordering? Like, what do you see on the horizon, Victor, when it comes to online ordering? Like, is there something cool that we're going to see soon, or where are we headed?
Well, as a POS, on the POS side of things, it is really interesting because, you know, the technology, it's getting more and more automated. You know, there's so many AI-driven tools that you can utilize, you know, smart recommendations and such.
Yep.
But beyond that, like just being able to just pull the online ordering from your menu on the POS, so you're not having to do it on your online ordering solution. You don't have to do it on your Skip and Uber and DoorDash, right? So those are already here for the industry to use.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I think, and you know, when it comes to online ordering, I think it's important to talk about, so there's a lot of technology evolution, but it's also about blending it in more to the service overall and blending it into the actual restaurant experience. So you talked about some of the trends that you saw and, you know, increasing these live experience. And I truly believe that we're heading towards that era where restaurants are going to be putting a lot more effort into that live experience that's unique, not just the standard food service. You know,
What do you mean by
maybe
that?
see,
Can you
yeah,
explain
so
that?
we'll, yeah. So we're going to see things like, you know, smaller dining rooms, because online ordering, you really are competing with people's thumbs sitting on their couch. They can get, you know, they're in their most comfortable space. They can order great food online now. So in order to encourage people to get off the couch and actually go into the restaurant, I've seen a lot of different kind of unique activities from. There's a restaurant in Ottawa that, you know, they now have like a whole room dedicated to like classic pinball machines. So you can come in and eat, and then there's classic pinball machines on the one side. You know, we have, you know, live music coming back. People want to get that unique experience going to the restaurant. And so there's both that live experience piece, and then it also blends really well into, you know, every restaurant needs to have that and have online ordering working together. And funny enough, we have an expert at, you know, creating those experiences with us today with Victor. And so those are the people you can talk to about how can we, you know, blend these online tools with what we have on site and create, you know, these more unique experiences for guests, whether they're at home or in the restaurant.
So,
For
Victor,
sure.
I have an idea for you. Okay.
What's up?
Good guy. So I'm not going to say this. The chain that Chris is like, Jay, you're off script. It's going to happen, Chris. I have an idea here that I think on that whole thing on creating this experience. This is just me, but because I worked in restaurants for a bazillion years, is I think restaurants can create an experience if they streamed their kitchens out to the front of the house, but out to the public as well. Right? Because the kitchens are a community environment in there that is bizarre as you can get. And when they're busy, when they're really busy, it's almost like a symphony. Like it's beautiful, it's choreographed. You know where the things are going, and people are just going crazy. There's fire, there's problems.
I mean, and if it's not, you know, if it's not a symphony, then it's also entertaining, because I mean, who doesn't like to watch
Well,
it? Who doesn't like to watch
It would
that?
need to be on like a 10-minute delay just to filter out all the cussing, though.
Yeah.
No, but you can beep it. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's a system
Yeah.
you can do it for. But I swear I was looking at a chain about this, because in the old days when I started, well, even before, well, a little bit after that, we started doing open concept restaurant kitchens, right? So you could see the kitchen, see everything working, and that kind of fizzled out a little bit. It's still around, but it really wasn't a wow anymore. So then I just saw the ability to throw in cameras, doesn't cost much. Mike, your chefs. It's almost like remember how like football, NFL put mics on the football players? All of a sudden it changed the game. You can hear them talking.
Remember Hell's Kitchen? You know, like there's
Yeah.
definitely, and you talk the open concept, right? So I love it. You talk about, you know, when everybody's in the restaurant, open concept is fun because you can see them cooking, you can see what's going on, because your guests aren't all in are not all in the restaurant these days. So now you can stream it out, right?
Yeah,
you can show them what's going on.
Stream it out. It's Friday night at at Jay's restaurant here. Check it out, guys. Look at what's happening in that place.
Oh, for sure.
You could, I think if you just keep it to the back, the front could be different because you have to get probably a lot of legal papers. But I think from the back side, I would do. That's what I would do. I think it'd be a lot of fun. because they are entertaining,
Oh
and
my goodness, yes, they have their own language even, right? And I've been in these kitchens, and I wish I had got to work a bit in the industry in the kitchen back in the day growing up, But really, I think if you have the sizzle, that's something that could work, right? If you have the kitchen where it is a bit of a show, I think that could work. But that gets to what I was wanting to say in that, you have to really know your product, right? And know your industry. Because, I mean, if you've got a chef that can put on a show, then live stream that. But the same thing goes for like all these interesting outside of the box concepts. If you're just doing burritos and trying to pump out as much volume, like maybe it's not worthwhile to have a band in playing live music, right? So if your problem is you need to produce more, then you need solutions that will focus on production. If you need to get butts into the restaurant and seat at tables, then you focus on those types of innovations, right?
So Victor, I got to throw another thing out here because you made me think here for a second. Is that back in the day, we used to you had, let's say, a social media person all the time on there, and I think what restaurants may have to shift to now is more content creators, right? You could really, does that make sense? Like, hopefully,
Totally.
Right? You could have a contact. sorry, Chris, I'm so off. But I got to talk about this because I think it's important to understand that you could create. You have content creators that are creating this content for you, and really elevate your brand within your restaurant based on the content they're creating. You could have multiple different things you're doing within your restaurant, and I think I see that in some of the bigger chains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're just taking advantage of the show they're putting on every night, right? They're already putting on this great, cooking show in the back, but if no one's watching, then they can't take advantage of it. So restaurants for very low price or very low to get set up could actually offer this, with something they're already doing. So, which, if you're looking for
everything is marketing, right? So like content is needed, but even like, we were talking about like packaging, right? Packaging your food, that's marketing too. That's your brand going out the door, right? So you need to view everything as marketing, right? And know your product and know what to prioritize based off of what your market says you need.
And the hardest part of any kind of marketing, in my opinion, is actually the content creation. So whenever you can take advantage of content you're creating already or automatically, that you need to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. So Victor, what is the most requests that you get right now from being an integrator? What are you getting asked all the time?
I'd still say it's that online ordering, third-party delivery piece, right? And I don't want to jostle too many feathers, but the real strategy is to shift that third-party ordering volume to your in-house online ordering as well, right?
Do you see people doing that? Like, I agree with you. Do you see more and more people moving that way?
Well, we're all trying to, right? Like those marketplaces, they're marketing machine.
Yeah,
they are.
And there's just no one solution that can, fulfill all of that need. And I think that's something that, Victor and I were talking about before the show is, you can put in a great online ordering system, but if you don't have a marketing plan that, it's, a way to convert people from third-party ordering to first-party ordering, and if you don't have the right, point of sale, the right online ordering, the right packaging, the right marketing push, and if they're not all working together, it can be very hard. And like, we talk about third-party ordering does have a high cost. It also has high value as far as bringing butts to seats and actually marketing. Something that restaurants can struggle with is marketing to their customers and their guests. So that's never going to go away, or it should never go away. It should just be, you should be able to not have to pay those high fees for people that are going to your restaurants on a regular basis.
So Chris, do you think then, or Vic, both of you, do you think a lot of these third-party delivery companies then, restaurants are using them as a marketing channel for their brands?
Absolutely. If they're using it properly, they're using it as an onboarding channel. There's a high cost, and that's what we call, in business, the customer acquisition cost. And that's what you're paying those high fees for, because it takes a lot of money. They are the ones spending a lot of money on, advertising, on pay-per-click. They're spending all that money, and you're essentially paying for a portion of that on top of the ordering experience. And you can kind of bring a lot of that cost home and hyper target the guests that you want if you're doing it properly once you get them on first party ordering. And it can be as simple as putting something in the bag when they order from a third party, saying, here, scan this QR code. You're going to get a free appetizer or $5 off your order when you order from us. And what's also really nice too is these third-party delivery companies also have just fulfillment only. So even if you don't have a delivery squad, you could use the delivery order only portion of these third parties. That also reduces a lot of the cost as well, without having to create your own delivery fleet.
What do you mean? Like you keep your own delivery team?
You basically the third-party ordering platforms have been coming out with fulfillment only. So if you take an order over the phone, then you just go into their system and you say, I need this order delivered to this location, and then they'll fulfill that portion, but you're paying a portion of the actual service fees since you're not taking advantage of that market.
10%.
Exactly.
12% or whatever's negotiated. Yeah.
But you still get to use
I think it's great.
Marketing note.
Well, it's the opposite. You get to use their fulfillment, and you do your own marketing, and you use your own ordering. Like I said, it could literally be online ordering. It could be through the phone. It could be someone coming up to it could be probably not someone coming up to the counter unless they're looking for a ride home. But you can take advantage of even portions of this. So they're also addressing this. It is just up to the restaurants to implement this strategy and call someone like Victor so they can get all the right tools in, so they can so they're not just picking up the phone 50 times, but this is automatically coming into them through a first-party ordering system and online ordering, and then it's being fulfilled by this third party. And even better, if you have your own delivery people, then you can also save even more cost there. But you can lean on this fulfillment only service until you can get to there.
Wow. So let's break for a quick commercial. Victor, I want to come back and figure out how people can use you and your services in your company for their restaurants, and we'll go through that here in a second. But first, let's learn about napkins. Because loves learning about napkins. Anyways, right back.
Everybody's reading the note I posted. So before we kind of wrap up, I think it's important to, Victor, for you to kind of let people know, what do you want people to know about working with an integrator, or what kind of pitfalls do you see restaurants getting into when they're not working with an integrator that you guys can help address?
Okay, thanks. So I'd say that we're really fixated on the solution for our customer. I was alluding earlier to the market and knowing their needs, right? So as the operator, you really live that life, right? So you know what your priorities are and what your direct needs are, right? So you think that, staffing's an issue, I need kiosks, but we're going to give it to you exactly as it is, right? I'm not mandated to sell you kiosks. I'm going to tell you both sides of why kiosks would be good, or online ordering, or any other integration, right? It's a full stack that needs to really align with all the needs of your business, right? And again, I'm not mandated to integrate with you, but I am mandated that the integration actually works, right?
Yeah.
That's the key.
And works more than just on paper, because I think one thing that we've seen a lot, even with what we're doing with App8, is that a lot of people are approached by a company that has a service or solution, whether it's a kiosk company, online ordering company, and that's a solution that they want to sell you. And so they're going to say, here's all the benefits and here's why you should work with it, and it can totally work in your restaurant. But we're not expecting an owner or managers to necessarily have all the background knowledge or know all the additional products or services they need to include in that. And what's great about an integrator is that they have several different options to solve the same problem. And you guys are going to build a package and a full stack solution that works specifically for that restaurant's needs, and not just what one solution has provided.
For sure.
Yeah. I also think it's important too that you guys are in the background doing this research all the time. we do this tech show. We like to talk about new products, but I mean, we could probably talk for hours about all the latest stuff that you found out in the last month, And I think one thing that you guys really help with too is you can alleviate a lot of this pressure from a restaurant owner, because I know that's one area where owners probably don't value their own time properly, because if they can take care of something themselves, they'll take care of it. But they shouldn't have to go out there and do all the research and look at every single solution on the market. And I know I'm going to probably steal this line from your boss, but I love the line that says, owners should be working on their business, not in their business. And that's really what you guys can help. You can alleviate a lot of that, work from them.
Indeed. And just back with the on online ordering and things like that, it's nice that the market's evolving so much, but they haven't really distinguished that much in terms of solution. So it's really finding that solution that meets that flavor, right? And you as the owner, what the flavor is. The little things that will matter, right? Because one online solution versus the other, they're very similar, right? But that's where we can help you sort of see things a bit more clearly.
Hey, I mean, even just drawing this, creating this off the top of my head, but I mean, even professional golfers have caddies, right? That say, hey, you've got a lot of tools in your bag here, but you might think this is the best choice, but I've actually been, looking at everything in the background, and here's my recommended, club or recommended solution, and I think that that's something that you guys do very well.
Thank you. Yeah, for sure. Do they have caddies for disc golf?
They do actually. It's actually something that if I'm bringing up disc golf that I play, semi-professionally. Generally, having a caddy can help, and it's usually kind of an honor if people are playing on the kind of league cards. They can help them out, and it actually is, because they're in like high pressure situations, and having someone there to have your back is great. No matter where you are.
So Victor, so people can how do they get a hold of you, and how do they work with you then?
Yeah, so I gave Chris a link to a form that I made for just a quick consultation that we could line up. They could come to our website, starpos.ca, my email, victor@starpos.ca, and we could just have a quick chat and get things going.
And I think just to highlight that, sorry, Jay. So we're gonna put a link into the show notes as we post these online, so you can go to that form. As Victor said, you can go to starpos.ca and just send them an email. But this is a free consultation, so they're gonna take time to actually go through your business, go through all the technology you have, and then provide some potential solutions. There's no commitment. What they are gonna do is just give you a lot of options, and if it works out, then you guys could have a beautiful relationship together.
We'll put that link in the YouTube in the bio here, or in the bottom part here, that people can link to. So they just fill that out, contact them, and you set up a consultation, look at what their needs are, and then you guys connect them with what they. I'm assuming you help a lot of restaurants save money, Victor.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
They've been doing this for a long time, and if you've never talked to an integrator, you've never worked with one before, this is your best chance to do it. Jump on, talk to Star. They're all across Canada. And like I said, they service a number of different restaurants, and food service establishments, and they can really help find those.
Any size, Victor? Any size?
Any size. We work with the one-offs, moms and pops, and then we're with some of the largest chains in the country as well.
Chris, I didn't know this. I've been in the industry 32 years. I didn't know you got this in
your backyard in Edmonton.
Hey, look, that's why we brought him on. That's why it's not a singular exciting solution to talk about, but I think this is one-to-many access, right?
Well, I just think based on every restaurant looks at so many different things, they're always there's so many things to focus on in a restaurant nowadays. And you can't be an expert in marketing. You can't be an expert in this space, and this. There's so many things you can't be anymore while you own a restaurant. Back in the day, you could be kind of that one-man show, but nowadays you just can't. So having a company like yourselves to come in and to help you save money, especially in spaces that are moving at light speed, and are very vast in the tech side. It's huge. Amazing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Really is.
That's it. I mean, mainly my job is working with integrators, because I also know that if I build good relationships with them, they have, lots of, they're the ones that have dozens of customers. So instead of trying to convince every one of those individually, I can even work through integrators that have those relationships. I manage my relationship with them. I keep them updated with everything that we're doing, and then they're able to communicate that to their to their customers, and that's what they do on an ongoing basis. It's why everybody who hasn't talked to an integrator or that's looking for ways to save money and become more operationally efficient, which I think is more important than ever with all the tools that people have been implementing right now. Everybody should be doing this.
So, Victor, one last question for me here. So, when you look at a restaurant, can you kind of just give us an idea what that assessment looks like? Like, does it take a week? Does it take an hour? What's that look like when you meet with a restaurant and you go through what they're looking to change and stuff like that? Is that a long process, or is that?
It can be, right? Especially with the larger groups, would take longer to move and get their pieces together. But you get a really quick sense of what the needs are, or how much they actually have a finger on the pulse of what their needs are. Because sometimes people are just living too big picture, and they need to look at the immediate needs, right? So the same thing goes, like a good example is when we are developing their menu on the screen. They have a certain way that they think it should be versus us having a way of what's worked live on site, right?
The very experienced base, and that's what I love. That's all the best insights I'm getting from Victor is always about not like, oh, I read this or I saw this. It's no, we implemented the solution, we saw the results firsthand from us firsthand, not just what we read online, and then that they like to replicate best practices across all their accounts.
And you do, like, this is crazy because I'm just thinking about everything, because there's so many when you own a restaurant, you think you have all the answers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need that edge and attitude to run a good restaurant, right?
Well,
but everybody needs help,
You do, but if you can bring someone in there that will say, you got to do this, this, and that. Here's your statistics, and here's the data to back it. That's huge, man. Like, seriously.
And just imagine that every single restaurant owner that calls an integrator like Star, calls Star for the first time, they know exactly what they want, they know exactly what they need, and they know exactly how to run their restaurant. And then they talk to Star, and then Star helps them, give them exactly not necessarily what they want, but what they need, and helps bring their vision to life in the best way possible. Because, like I said, it changes every month. There's a new solution, there's a new regulation, there's a new trend, and that's what these guys can stay on top of. They stay on that. They keep their finger on the pulse, and then they're constantly reaching out to their customers. It's not just like a set and forget. It's not just here, we'll give you a consultation, build you a package. It's an ongoing piece. This is why his title is customer success, not just sales. He's an ongoing relationship, and you have somebody in your corner. It's great.
Well, we need to earn your business month over month, right? Because everything is subscription based, which is a whole other conversation, Jay.
I'm just blown away. Seriously, like I get excited, but Chris, you always bring someone new on the show that I've never heard of and done with. But like, and I I've heard of Victor before, but I just looking at through a different lens now, just based on your comment earlier, Chris, about the speed of change within our industry right now, and it's moving so fast. We talk about all the time. Well, last month it's changed this month, and so many things fluctuate now, especially with the weather, the markets, the pricing, everything. And if we can bring in someone to help with all that, with resources and stuff that helps with those areas, there's huge savings that you can help restaurants with.
Oh yeah. Are we allowed to plug one of our next guests coming up to help in general? Yeah. So one of the great things actually coming up, we think it's a really timely guest coming on. We're actually going to have Modern coming on. That is an online ordering company, but one thing that they do very well is they can also build a custom app for the restaurants, and they have the marketing engine to back it up. And funny enough, I believe that they're one of the products that Star POS actually sells and supports. So not only could you tune in next month to actually check out what Modern can offer, and then if you have questions and you're not sure if you want to dive in, you can call Star and call Victor, and they can help you see if it's the right fit. And if it is, they can help you implement it.
Awesome stuff, Victor. First of all, thank you so much for being on the show today. We'll send this out. Everyone else, watch this on demand later on. We'll play it again tonight. And then on the weekend, we'll play it again. But Victor, thank you again for what you do for the industry. Like, you guys help the industry, which is just absolutely incredible. So thank you for what you're doing. And Chris, another great guest. You should do like a surprise.
Pleasure.
You should do like Smart surprise guest.
I kind of feel like every guest I bring on is a surprise for you, Jake. So,
I know, dude. Like, that's why I get excited about this show.
It's hard to be a good hang,
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, everyone else, as we finish today's show, you can watch SVK. I pull my outro notes, Chris. Try 'em, buddy. So
That's
everyone
fine.
else, thanks again for watching. Yeah, there's Chris's side. Thanks again for watching the show today. Like I said, we're going to be airing this later today at 7 p.m. tonight and tomorrow on my channels on LinkedIn. You can also watch and binge watch all the bazillion shows that we have on YouTube as well. You can subscribe and follow so you get a notification when we are live. Victor, you get a notification today?
Yes.
Yes, you did, didn't you? I know.
He turned his
So,
notifications off while he's on the show.
no, but I had one earlier when we did the Influencer Friday
Yeah.
today. But also check out Cisco.ca because we've got tons of resources up there for everyone within the industry that you can see from Cisco. We got it up there as well. And then every other influencer show that we have, sorry, not influencer, every other show that we have, we also have Influencer Fridays that comes out on Fridays now. We just did our first one back today. We have another one next week with Sterno products, which will be kind of interesting what Chef's going to do with those. But thanks again to both of you. This has been an absolute pleasure. And Victor, thanks again for all the stuff.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
thanks, Victor. Thank everyone for watching.
Yeah, Chris, you want to
Yeah.
do like and get out there and support an industry and dine out, eat out,
You know what?
dine
Yes,
out.
Get out.
seriously. This is I love fall. It's one of the best times, I think, to get out. I run very warm, so it's the perfect, like weather. You can get out there while your patios are still warm enough, see some beautiful sights and sounds. And if you're in Canada, winter's always coming. So take advantage while you can.
And Victor, we're gonna have you back, just so you know.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Right, and I think
Looking
you live
forward to it.
here, so you're gonna be in here across that table soon.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyways, thanks again, everybody else. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.